What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily wrap after a very controversial day of streaming. That's right. Not only did our boy Phil struggle to hit the tip goal, but apparently he's embroiled himself in a new controversy. That's right. Doody's calling it RegardGate, right? RegardGate. Now, you know, regard means something else, but YouTube's a little sensitive with the original term, so Doody doesn't want to get this video demonetized. So going forward in this video, he will use the word regarded, right? So let's see what Phil had to say on the daily wrap.
Hey everyone, Phil here, and welcome to the daily wrap for what was Monday the 10th of February 2025. Let's quickly summarize what went down today. First off, on the day's stream, we had a level 1 podcast that covered my Street Fighter issues that I had last night. If you remember, last night on Street Fighter 6, we had many connection issues, both with my internet, but also, on top of my internet, there were big issues with the game in ranked. So I outlined all of that and explained to everyone exactly what was going on. I also talked about an update on my neck injury, which is still bothering me, and I actually showed everyone my osteo pillow that I had used the night before. Plus, a brand new snack box arrived during the stream, which I showed off, and this snack box is so crazy. It's like 3 times the size of the Japanese snack box that we had been using previously. So it's going to be pretty crazy now that we're actually going to get into getting stuff from this box, okay? So, overall, went really well. Good podcast today. And then we jumped into Dark Souls, the conclusion, and that also went really well. We ended up finishing up the DLC within maybe like 30 to 40 minutes. The Manus boss fight actually had been changed for this edition of the game, so it was fun to see the differences. And then we went into the final area, the Lord Vessel, got past the Dark Knight dudes and got to Gwyn. And Gwyn also had been changed from the original game. He actually had like a longer sword. He had new attacks and stuff. It was pretty neat. So actually the end of the game was quite fun. But I beat it within about 2 hours. We had a whole extra hour. So because of that, we just did an hour-long hangout session. We didn't hit the goal, but it wasn't a bad stream. I think we raised like 90 bucks or something like that. So I wasn't sad or disappointed, but we didn't hit the goal. All right. Tonight on the late stream of Call of Duty, I'm going to be honest with everyone. Yes.
Okay, so I need to stop it here because if you were to listen to Phil, you would think that, oh, not a big deal. It's perfectly fine. It's normal that we don't hit the goal. And I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm set. I have money saved. It's not a big deal. I don't want my viewers to feel bad that they didn't contribute. You would get that vibe from Phil, right? But of course, you know better than that. If you're watching this content, you know Phil is full of crap. That wasn't it at all. I mean, throughout the 2 hours of the Dark Souls playthrough, and it was less than that, it was about an hour and 45 minutes. But we're pulling hairs here. So during the playthrough, the man must have stopped and begged every 5 minutes because he knew that no one supports Dark Souls. People are bored of that playthrough and no one's going to support it anyway. So that was the first issue. Most of his tips came in during the podcast. I think he ended up getting like 45 bucks on the podcast and then managed to get like 12 bucks the rest of the day. It was pretty sad and pathetic. But anyway, I digress. Let me step back. So, of course, he thought, all right, well, that's fine. I didn't get support for the game. Not a problem. I got my trusty Q and Beg. And, of course, the Q and Beg always brings the dents out. Iron Chef Sakai, where are they? Where are they? But sadly, Iron Chef Sakai didn't pop out. No, he did not. And it was so pathetic that the man even begged a Dark Side Pimp or Dark Sneed Pimp to save the stream, to basically throw him a $300 tip. Well, not $300, throw him a $300 in memberships. It was quite sad. And the Kick chat just wasn't having it. Support on Kick is completely dried up. Again, the only person supporting there is Iron Chef Sakai. And if he goes MIA for just a small amount of time, a day or two, Phil panics. And that's what we got yesterday. The man literally panicked yesterday. So he did a Q and Beg session for about an hour, 15 minutes, went a little bit of overtime, and managed to get like another 10 or 12 bucks into his support. And he was not happy. The man was not happy. Of course, he needs to bring up the fact that his obese wife wants DoorDash, right? Because she's too tired to cook a meal, right? Even though she works a part-time job, a three-day a week, 3 hours per day part-time job. Woman's literally working like 9 hours a week, right? But anyway, let's look past that. He wants to do his wife a favor and order DoorDash for one night where he, so that she doesn't have to cook. Let's be honest, folks. The man does never. They never cook. They either eat frozen pizza or they order DoorDash. It's just obvious from the amount of trash that this man mentions that he has to go to the actual dump, the physical dump to dump trash. You know that his whole house is filled with empty boxes of DoorDash containers and bags, and that's just shit that I'm assuming his development, the trash collection, doesn't pick up, so he has to go pick it up. So, instead of being a good husband, like most people, they would say, well, you know what, maybe I'm going to cook something for my wife. What happened the other day, Phil, when you said, oh, I was going to make hamburgers, right? I was going to make hamburgers, but my neck hurt so much, I was worried I was going to drop the hamburger. Why don't you just cook a hamburger? You feel a lot better. You got that orthopedic pillow, that hug me pillow, that comfort pillow. You got that going. Your neck feels a little bit better. You seem perfectly fine playing Call of Duty, right? Why don't you cook your wife those hamburgers you were talking about? Of course he's not, because he's full of shit. He's never was going to cook anything. Never is going to cook anything, man. And he's just a fraud and a liar, man. I mean, I don't think I would make a big issue of it if the man just said, yeah, we DoorDash every day. Because it's like, all right, whatever, that's your money. It's your money, right? You could DoorDash or whatever. You're being honest about it. Who gives a fuck, right? But since he lies about it and he tries to convince the internet that he's this blue-collar worker who all he does is just stream all day long and then, eke out a living with his wife, and they have to, can goods, in the summertime after they farm their crops, they can their goods for the winter. That's what Phil will make you believe. When he's literally just sitting there just ordering pretty much DoorDash for every single fucking meal that they eat. And again, it's not the act, it's the lie of the act that pisses people off. And I know it pisses me off. By the way, I'll be making this quick little announcement on the podcast, but I did reach out to Stephen Cabin. I did have a little conversation with him, and we're going to have a nice little conversation before his little interview with Phil. So, I have a nice little package of information to share with him. And hopefully he'll bring it up. And by the way, just as a side, he is doing a massive amount of research on Phil, and he's gonna have a lot of questions for him. So I think it's gonna be good. I think the podcast might be good. Anyway, I digress. So let's keep going. Let's see what other bullshit Phil has to say on this stupid daily rap.
I was disappointed for multiple reasons. Okay, number one, I was toughing through this neck injury. And I told everyone I didn't know how it was going to go with me playing on mouse and keyboard with the neck injury. The good news here is, even though, yes, it hurts and it's sore, I got through it, and it didn't necessarily hinder my gameplay, nor did it give me excruciating increased pain or anything like that. Basically, it did hurt, but it was all right, okay? The bad news is, two things happened that were really annoying. Number one, as I was playing, all right, someone in the chat on Kick basically did something, and I know it was intended to be a joke, but it was definitely went too far. It basically went directly against something that we had talked about on my podcast in the morning. And I don't know if they had been there for the podcast or not. Maybe they were just joking from secondhand. I don't know. But here I was full of adrenaline playing Call of Duty. They said something in the chat they shouldn't have said. I absolutely positively should have timed them out, but I banned them instead. And this is a person who everyone likes in the Kick chat. So they got very upset with me. They were revolting and saying, why the heck did you ban him? At most you should have, timed him out. He doesn't really deserve a ban for doing that or anything like that. And it's kind of messed up that she did that. So as I'm talking with Kick Chat or whatever, I'm still trying to play the game. And I spent the entire stream leveling up the SAUG, which is the Uzi. Okay, the SMG, the Uzi SMG, because I wanted to dual wield them. I wanted to go akimbo. I thought akimbo Uzi sounds amazing, right? Like it should be like super sick and really, really good. Better than say akimbo handguns. Yeah, no. So I spent the whole stream working on this. All right. I get to the point.
All right, I'm going to stop it because we have two issues to address here. So the first issue is, of course, RegardGate. Now, if you didn't watch any of the content, we are going to be talking about this today on the podcast because this is a very serious subject. And if you didn't watch any content yesterday, apparently our boy Phil decided to spend a good deal of his podcast talking about regards, right? And how it's perfectly fine for him to use the word, but anyone else using it is completely off base. And he ranted and raved about how people are so sensitive and how he's restricted from saying his hateful slurs, and that if he truly says what he means, and is allowed to be himself on stream that he would be banned immediately. That says a lot. That says a lot, especially someone who tries to convince the internet that he's a good guy, he's not hate-filled, that he doesn't do hateful content anymore, he doesn't say hateful slurs anymore, he's accepting of all people regardless of race, religion, creed, physical disabilities, mental disability, it doesn't matter, right? And then he's gonna go on this stream and start calling people regarded. And not just simply like an off, you know how sometimes when you're with a buddy and they say something dumb and you call them kind of a word, I can't use the word, like you say, oh, you're such a, you know, a dumbass or something, right? You don't literally mean that, right? But you're just kind of saying it just to let them know, just express how you're feeling, right? Apparently Phil's upset, right? Because he thinks that whenever he uses that term, that you should automatically know that he doesn't mean it. Like he's not telling these people that they're mentally or physically disabled, like a Jade. Let's use a Jade, for example, right? So you should automatically know that. And if you think otherwise, then you must be regarded. And then he just went on this nonstop rant about how sensitive everyone is. And how, it's a shame that I can't say the hateful word that I want to say. And it's a shame I can't use the King of Hate moniker because it's associated with hate. Yes, Phil, that's right. Because you associated it years ago with all of your hateful slurs. Those hateful slurs that have dragged you down for years. And the other thing is Phil would make you think that this happened, decades ago. No. Do I need to bring up slave trade, Phil? And what it is, it's Phil trying to normalize shitty behavior. That's what it is. He is just a miserable curmudgeon. He's a hate-filled person. And he wants everyone to be okay with this hate-filled nonsense. That's what he wants here. So, of course, somebody in his chat decided they wanted to play along with Phil. And they started calling people in his chat, like he started calling other viewers regarded. And apparently he started calling everyone regarded because he felt like, well, if Phil can call people regarded, right, on his stream, why can't I? Makes sense, right? Rules for me, not for thee, right? Type of thing, Phil. So this person was joking. They started spamming regard to other people. And Phil just decided to ban him. And then, of course, whenever Phil banned someone, he decided to sit on his fucking high horse. Not cat, just a high horse, right? And be like, no, I'm not banning him. He has to apologize, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, the Kick chat revolted. Everyone was like, you're being an idiot. Like, you were calling people regarded. You're using the word. You're being sensitive. You're being, you're trying to censor someone when you spent 45 minutes complaining about censorship on your podcast, right? And that went on for about a half an hour and support completely dried up. He was so desperate for money and tips that he unbanned the person and apologized and said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have banned him. I should have just gave him a timeout. So please continue with your support. Please continue giving me money. He literally said that. This isn't Doody making this up. This is what the guy fucking said. And it's so sad and pathetic. But we're going to get into RegardGate today on my podcast. Because it needs some attention. It does. Because Phil has a horrible track record of being obnoxious, being rude, and using hateful slurs most of all. So let's keep going.
Where I'm akimbo Uzis, it's not good. They're actually weak. They're weaker than the akimbo handguns. What are the Grikovas that I'd already been using? I don't know what they were thinking doing that. How in the hell are you going to tell me a fully auto SMG Uzi is less damaging than a handgun? It doesn't even make sense. I honestly think that they fucked the game up. Now, maybe if I didn't get Gunfighter unlocked yet, maybe if I get Gunfighter unlocked and I add a few more attachments, maybe it will be better. But all I know is it was ridiculous, like ridiculously underpowered. And I was like, wow, I'm really disappointed with this. I put all this effort in and it sucks. Now, in addition to that, I did admit to everyone because everyone was revolting in the Kick chat saying, you've overstepped your boundaries. How dare you? So I apologized. And I said, you guys are right. I'm full of adrenaline and I'm working on Call of Duty tonight. And that's why I acted like that. I should have just timed the guy out. I should not have banned it. All right. So I did unban him and I apologized and everyone seemed fine after that. In fact, a couple people contributed and stuff like that. But it was the end of the night. And basically I had $30 and then a couple more people contributed. So by the end of the night, we got $60 for the Call of Duty stream. A far cry from the 150 goal. Now, I don't need to hit the goal every stream. All right, I'm being honest here. I don't have to hit it every stream. It's not the end of the world. But didn't hit it on the first stream today. Didn't hit it on the second stream today. Didn't even get halfway on the second stream today. So here's the deal. All right. Number one, I told everyone this on the podcast. When we hit 10 goals, all right, not only are we going to be doing the DSP Tries It for Arby's, which I can't wait to do because we haven't done a fast food DSP Tries It in a very long time. But in addition to that, we're also going to be doing a treat tasting. As you know, every time we hit a goal, I taste one of these treats from the boxes. And I told everyone I would do an extra one. So instead of just doing the one, okay, which would be the final Japanese snack, I told everyone I will also do an additional one of the first one out of the European box. So basically, I'll do 2 treats for the price of 1. But the thing is, I want to hit the goal, the 10 goal, by tomorrow because I want to do DSP Tries It at Wednesday at the latest because my wife is working these days and she doesn't want to cook one of those days. She's like, oh, Dad, I would like to not have to cook. So I was hoping it would be tomorrow, but it's not going to be now because we're still at 8 out of 10. We didn't hit any goals today. Tomorrow, if you guys are coming by, please support the streams. We want to do DSP Tries It at the latest on.
All right, so I love how this fucker says the goals are we don't need to hit the goals every day, but yet begs like an incessive crackhead about the fucking goals. Mentions goals and support 1,000 times on his video. Dude, maybe no one cares about your stupid goals. Maybe no one really cares that you hit 10 goals. Maybe, Phil, no one cares that your big obese wife wants to eat DoorDash. Maybe they just don't give a shit. Or maybe they don't find it enticing enough. Really, Phil? You want $1,500 at a minimum so that you can try 2 snacks. You could try a chocolate bar and some Japanese snack, which you've already done. How many times, Phil? How many times have you done that stupid gimmick? And of course, leave it up to Phil to think outside the box. Oh, I'm not going to buy a Japanese snack box. I'm going to buy a European snack box. That's totally different. This fucking guy, man. Anyway, I think I ran way too long in this video. We're going to be talking about RegardGate today on the podcast. If you got nothing better to do, stop by at 10:30. It should be a lot of fun because RegardGate will be the word of the day. Peace out.